Yo, isn't that just like the coolest beat ever? Isn't that like the most fire beat? I'm not gonna gatekeep. I'm not gonna gatekeep. It's called Fleeting Hot Frozen Heart. You guys should check it out. It's a banger of a beat. I'm not gonna lie. I've just been listening to it all the time. It's such a good beat. But how we doing? What's good? How we doing, Digital Lock? Decan, long time no see, man. Hope you've been well. Krish, what's good, brother? Saw you in the comments earlier. How you doing? Today we are working on something quite special. Now, we've been hustling on this for a minute now. I'm not gonna lie, but we are working on the autonomous app factory. Now, the aim here is I don't know if you guys saw the last live stream, but basically what happened was we were able to get it to fully generate this app with like a monetization connected through the Stripe API. And so now the next kind of step is, it required quite a bit of hand holding, we had to literally hold this hand, and we even got it to the point of also like uploading it to the Apple Developer App Store. I'll log in a second and show you guys, but we literally got it to go end to end, where it came up with the app idea. It was able to then build the app. It was then able to monetize the app through Stripe. And then it was also able to, review it and submit it into the App Store, the Apple iOS App Store. So we've got this like pretty much going end to end. So what we're kind of missing now is we need to stop hand holding it and basically let it run end to end on the next app. What we've got here, we've got Gym Snap here. So we need to now see that it's able to make Gym Snap fully autonomously without us really helping. Because Warranty will kind of like, oh, you missed the monetization. Can you add that? Oh, you missed this. Can you add that? But now with Gym Snap, because we've added everything in place, you can see here we've got ideate, we've got build, we've got review, we've got monetize, stage. Like we've added all of these through the hand holding process. And so we're going to then see, okay, now is it going to be able to run through all of these stages by itself without us kind of having to tell it? So that's what we're going to try and do. I also want to test the Stripe payments because it's able to add this kind of monetization thing right here. And I want to just like pay for it and see like, does it actually work? If it doesn't work, and I've even got like my Stripe right here. I've set up a nice Stripe account here for us to see if the payment comes through. If the payment doesn't come through, then obviously that's going to be a problem. Where's my money going? But yeah, that's kind of the main plan today. I want to also, like if we can fit it in, I want to reset and plug Sheldon into the factory, because what we've kind of built here is we've built the factory outside of the Openclaw framework. We've actually built it through Claude Code. And so what we're kind of aiming to do is Sheldon is going to replace me and be able to kind of press all the buttons for us. That's kind of the aim. So yeah. What's going on with all you guys? How we doing? I've been seeing many such app building apps launching. How is your app builder better than others, or is there any differentiating factor? I think I've been seeing them as well, but at the end of the day, I think like there aren't that many people that are able to, I guess, build this right now, because there's throughout the live stream you've seen, I've had like 3 or 4 different iterations on this. So I know that this is actually not as easy to build as people say it is. And so I think if you're one of the first people to be able to build this, then you're definitely going to be able to pump out apps and generate revenue through the apps. So, at the end of the day, there's always going to be competition, right? You're never going to be the first to do anything. And if you are, that's probably a problem, because there might be a reason that other people haven't done it yet, So when in business, I always say like, you don't want to reinvent the wheel, right? If there are a lot of competitors in your space, that's kind of a good thing, because that means that there's a lot of money in there for all those competitors to survive. Like if you're selling like glasses, for example, when I bought these glasses, right, there was an ad on Instagram, and this ad got shown to me like so many times, like maybe 5 or 10 different times I got shown this ad, right? So that tells me that the company selling these glasses is making a shit ton of money. So much money that they're able to pump that much into ads. So it's actually a good thing. You could come in and make your own sunglasses company if you wanted to and compete with them, because that shows that there's actually a lot of money in sunglasses. I mean, these aren't sunglasses. These are blue light glasses. I don't have bad eyesight. I just wear these when I'm looking at a screen. I always get asked that, by the way. So yeah, for those wondering, I'm using blue light glasses. But yeah, Decan's doing good. Been building my first project that I'm actually launching. Just doing the finishing touches the coming days. Yo, that's dope, man. I'm excited to see it. You should drop it in the show off channel in the Discord. We'll check it out. I was actually thinking, because I've had so many people in the community building so much cool stuff. I feel like it could be really cool because, you know, recently my channel has been doing quite well in terms of views. You know, we've got 21,000 here, nearly 10,000, 29,000, 4,500. So I think it could be really cool if I actually bring some of this attention back onto the community and what you guys are building. And so I think maybe sometime soon, I'm going to create like an announcement, and I'm going to let you guys just like, you know, share the cool stuff that you're building. And I'm going to go through and pick some of the best ones and probably make a video out of it, and hopefully give you guys some attention and maybe even your first customers. So yeah, stay tuned for that. Make sure you're in the Discord to be able to, I guess, participate in that. But yeah, just want to kind of shine some of that light on you guys. All right, anyway, let's get straight into it. Let's chuck some music in. How we doing, HX? What's good? Silly Lad, how we doing? I'm doing good, thank you. You are right. I love that optimistic thinking. Would love to see your product succeed. Thanks, bro. I appreciate that. That's the thing, right? Like, entrepreneurship is so hard, you know? And people underestimate like how fucking hard entrepreneurship is, you know? So we got to have each other's backs during these times, because it's freaking hard. And I feel like sometimes your immediate family or your close friends don't fully understand, you know, how hard it is what you're doing is. And, you know, I know I'm aware of that. Like, you know, luckily I've had good support with my brother, but, you know, I really wanted to create this community so that individuals like you and I can have a space where we are supported and, you know, people understand us. You know what I mean? Because there's not that many entrepreneurs in the world, you know? It might look like there are online, but if you actually look at the statistics, it's not that high. Like, dude, let me show you this thing real quick and then I'll get into the build. But there is literally barely anyone using. Look at this. All right, firstly, look at this. A reminder that you're in a bubble. More people Google WordPress than Claude Code right now. In 2026, all right? There's more people Googling WordPress than Claude Code. So when you see on your timeline that everyone and their dog is talking about Claude Code, just know that it's only like a handful of people. There's barely anyone actually even using Claude Code. And that is even more true when you look at this right here. And you can kind of see this graph, all right? Each dot is 3.2 million people, okay? And all these gray dots right here, every single dot here adds up to 8.1 billion humans, okay? Everything on this page adds up to 8.1 billion humans, okay? All of the gray are users who have never used AI before, okay? All of the green are people who have only ever used the free chatbot for like emails and stuff like that. This little yellow bit right here, this is the very few people who are actually paying like $20 a month for like ChatGPT. That's 15 to 25 million people, okay? From 8.1 billion, we've got 15 to 25 million individuals who are actually paying for AI. And then that really small red dot right there, that's us, all right? That is the users who are actually coding using AI. It's literally 0.04% of the entire world right now. So when you think, oh, dude, like, we're screwed, like everyone's using AI to code apps now, like blah, blah, blah. Like, no, man. You're just one of the few people that are doing it. We're a very small group of people. It just feels like it's a lot bigger because we're in kind of this echo chamber, you know? So I want you guys to reevaluate your perspective a little, because I feel as if, you know, and I'm guilty of this as well, where you're kind of like, oh man, it's over, man, we're screwed. Ah, shit, it's game over. But, you know, you need to remind yourself, like, you're actually really fucking early, okay? And, you know, there's about, I'd say there's probably a 2-year window for you to fully capitalize on how early you are and be able to, build apps and do your thing. But anyway, I just kind of wanted to share that because I thought it was interesting, and, you know, I'm guilty of it as well. So let's get straight into it. Let me chuck some beats on real quick. Music's a bit loud. Let me put it down. All right. You guys tell me if the music's too loud, all right? But essentially what I want to do is, let's go ahead and try and actually pay for this. Oh, I mean, off the rip, the continue button is not working. So there you go. Guess it doesn't work. So the continue button for Stripe payments not working. You have all the credentials necessary. What's wrong? Make sure whatever is iterated gets reflected in the app factory loop. One day we will have a lot more of that red box. Yeah, 100%. 100%. I reckon it'll be like, what do you reckon? The adoption curve is pretty quick, to be honest. AI is obviously changing the world and the way we use and optimize our workflows, right? I'm curious what the adoption rate will be in like maybe a year or two from now. But even if you think about it, 0.04%, even if it was 100% or 200% adoption rate in 1 year, that only ends up being like 0.25%. The thing is, even like coding with AI requires skill as well, you know? Like I've been live streaming for 35 days now. And, you know, obviously I've been a bit janky with my scheduling recently. So it's probably been closer to like 50 days of 35 have been live streamed. And, you know, there is definitely a massive skill gap. If you look at my first day versus now, I feel like there is a huge skill gap in terms of, you know, you need to understand coding terminology. You need to understand, you know, GitHub. Like GitHub like is like everything in freaking coding, man. I'm starting to realize, like, there's so much to it, and I don't know, there's definitely a skill to building good apps. By the way, the thing I'm building is kind of like the Canva whiteboard, but I'm trying to make more for people like us. Ooh, that's cool. That's cool. I like that. Chris X. Yeah, because not many people do coding. I agree. Like even when computer science was a thing and everyone, and obviously it still is a thing. What do I mean? When it was a thing, still is a thing. But when coding first came out, right? Maybe people all thought the same thing, but like there is a skill gap with coding. Obviously the skill gap with, vibe coding is definitely lower, but it's also costly too, man. Like it ain't cheap to build these apps. I'm spending good money on the credits. Like you need to be somewhat committed. Just making sure that I see the issue. The app is using Apple's store kit for in-app purchases, but there's no store kit configuration file for testing in the simulator. The product IDs also look like Stripe IDs, but should be App Store Connect product IDs. Let me fix this by creating a store kit configuration file for simulator testing, updating the product IDs to proper format. Wait, so maybe we don't even need Stripe. This is making it sound like we don't even need Stripe. Look, let me show you this real quick. Where is it? So it says, because I was under the impression you gave it a Stripe API, right? And it says, I see the issue. The app is using Apple's store kit for in-app purchases. Like, so Apple has its own in-app purchasing capabilities. So that would kind of make things even easier, no? Like, do I even need Stripe now? Or maybe that's just talking about the emulator. I'm not sure. Let's see. AI just made it possible for non-tech people to do what tech people do. Not at the same level, but the cost difference is paying a full-blown team versus using AI is more than enough of a trade-off. Yeah, that's true. Completely agree. That's exactly what's happened here. I think, like, even for me, like being able to build my own, I guess, things and apps and make my ideas come to life is really enjoyable. And, you know, imagine, I don't know, I feel like that it's really opened things up for me personally. You don't need Stripe, Apple, you gotta either use their stuff. Okay. Yo, Burp, how you doing, man? Long time no see. I'm doing good. We're basically working on a autonomous app generation factory is kind of what I'm calling it or coining it, where it basically builds apps autonomously without me kind of having to be there. And this is all through Openclaw, using Openclaw as essentially a orchestrator. I can even show you. Give me one sec. Where'd I put it? I mean, if I can find it, I can't really find it. Like, this is a little bit outdated, but this is still kind of applies. We're basically doing something similar to this. You can see right here. So this is essentially what we're building, but less complicated. So you got all this, right? But what's kind of happening and what we've realized is when there's too much going on, it's context bloat and it's unnecessary. If you just keep GPT and Opus, which is essentially what we're doing, it's way better. And so it's basically just going between GPT and Opus this whole way through. So this is a little bit outdated. This is maybe when we first tried to iterate the app factory. So we learned that this was actually a bit too complex and didn't provide the highest output that we were looking for. Can you tell me why do these kind of apps only launch in iOS? Because iOS has a 3x higher chance of someone paying for your app. So if you were to, I looked at the statistics. If you look at iOS versus like Android, iOS has 75% of the market in terms of apps being paid for, where Android has 25%. So, and that's probably due to like it being more in Western countries, and so they're paying more money and stuff. But you know, for me who uses an iPhone, all my friends use an iPhone, so I'm gonna stick to an iPhone only because that's just what I'm familiar with. And you know, we're essentially kind of building things that I'd like to test. Easiest thing for me is to test through a device that I own, you know? So that's kind of why. iOS also just has clean UI, man. Like, look at this. Alright, maybe this isn't the best example, but like, look at the glass morphism at the bottom. Like, their design kit is so clean that like even this, right? How it's like displayed, it looks very professional. Like I didn't prompt the bot to make it like this. It just made it like this because it's got such a nice app development toolkit. Apple's toolkit is like super clean. Anyway, so let's see what these guys are saying. Template build successful. Here's a summary of the payment system. So we don't need Stripe, as we can just go through Apple's own payment system. Can't see the screen. There you go. I shut my Openclaw down. It was annoying me too much. Haha, it was messing everything up. I couldn't even do a morning update consistently. Yeah, see, that's because of the context bloat. I have the same issue, bro. I have the same issue. It's because you can't let it do too much. Because if you let it do too much, it's going to just kind of suck at everything. So what you actually need to do is you need to have essentially this, but you need, instead of like doing it how like what I'm doing, you're gonna have like, this is gonna be like the first task that you want done. This is gonna be the second task. And then what you're gonna do is there's actually gonna be like another agent like underneath. This is my drawing of a person right now. And so you need to be able to set this up, right? But there are people handling, not people, but agents handling these individual tasks. So this one task might be like Twitter or X posting, right? This one task might be like, you know, maybe you want scripts being generated. And this one might even just be like, okay, I just want a personal assistant that can like help me out. And so what you kind of want is you want these AI agents to handle this context, okay? Because now what's gonna happen is your orchestrator is going to hear what you're saying, right? And then it's going to go, oh, this is the agent that handles that. Oh, this is the agent that handles the script writing. Oh, this is the agent that handles the personal management. And so this is kind of the system that you need, because then what's going to happen is your orchestrator, which is the Openclaw that you have, isn't going to run out of context, because all the difficult tasks are occurring through these sub agents, right? And so your Openclaw is actually just able to talk to you and have very clean bloat in terms of context. So this is kind of the system that you need to set up to not have it be messed up. And it's kind of annoying because it just doesn't work like out the gate like everyone says it does. You definitely need to configure it a little bit, you know? But I'm telling you, bro, once you configure this shit, it is 100% worth it. Because holy shit, like, I mean, you guys saw, right? In my last video, like, I'm literally, generating so many views from scripts that my Openclaw is making for me. Like, yeah, it's honestly changed things and drastically improved my workflows. Like, the only way a content creator can compete with the amount of content that I'm producing is unless they're doing the same thing as me, or if they're paying a shit ton for like a content team, you know? Because what am I doing? I'm literally live streaming every day. Well, I'm gonna try to live stream every day. I've been slack last week, but this week it's gonna be every day. I'm also literally making short form content every single day, and I'm also posting one long form content, and I don't have anyone else helping me. I'm just doing it all by myself. And it's because I'm able to automate these systems. So Openclaw is definitely worth looking into. Yo, O-Kick, what's going on? Welcome back to this stream. Hope you've had a good day since I last saw you. For iOS apps, you must use Apple Store Kit. Awesome. Apple takes a 15 to 30% cut. Jeez, that's high. God damn, man. Do I need to set anything up? Do I need to set anything up? Or is everything good to go? This actually simplifies things. No need to manage Stripe API keys. For simulator testing, you're good to go. The store kit config is set up. You need to set up in App Store Connect. For real App Store sales, paid app agreement, App Store Connect agreements, tax, banking, sign the agreement, App Store Connect your app subscription, create subscription group, premium, add products with these exact IDs. Oh man, are you able to automate that? Sounds pretty. Like, I don't want to be going in and setting up freaking pricing plans, man. Yes, partially. Can automate. Yeah, this is what I wanted you to automate. Can't automate paid agreements. Once I do the paid agreements, thanks, and tax forms, that's only a one-time thing, right? So you can automate moving forward. I'll probably do this off stream, so you guys probably don't want to see me do that shit. Yes, exactly one time. All right. Can you give me step by step? Can you give me step by step? I'll save and do it later. So I need to do all of this off stream. Note to self, do this off stream. Alright. So we can't test the payments, but it's actually simplified. So I'm gonna just say done. Actually, rather than that, I'll cross it out so people can see what we've done. Run through App Factory end to end with another app idea. Okay, so let's try this. Let's test the payment button in the simulator. So we can test this now and see how this is going. Doesn't let me continue. The continue button is grayed out. You see the WebSocket mode OpenAI just released? I bet that was the work of Openclaw guy. I can see that. That's such a good point. That's so true. Yeah, that was 100% the Openclaw guy. It makes so much sense, right? The moment that Peter Steinberg comes and gets involved, they get a WebSocket. That's actually so clever. Dude, he's gonna bring them like $1 billion, man. Just watch. He's such a smart guy. Instead of step 3 of your workflow, why don't you use a predefined library of UI components? This way the codex will not need to build the UI from scratch. I mean, it uses Apple's toolkit. That's predefined, no? Wouldn't you say that's predefined? But I think that is definitely a good idea. What I'm thinking what we're gonna do is like, you know, obviously this is, we're just trying to essentially see if we can go through every step uninterrupted first, right? That's the first step. The next step is then, okay, maybe we can actually, this doesn't actually work that well. So maybe let's remove this. Let's actually like use these specific templates because they're better. For this, let's actually use Opus because it's better. You know what I mean? Like we're gonna iterate once we've built it because we just wanna make sure we're going through the process, and it doesn't need to be perfect. It doesn't need to be pretty. We just need to see that the end-to-end works. Because once we have the end-to-end working, we can then iterate and improve. But I completely agree with you. I think that's definitely the plan. The store config only works when running from Xcode directly, not from command line builds. Let me open the project in Xcode so you can run it properly. Interesting. So let's do a refresh here. The other thing is, we've got 3 buttons here, right? Are they all necessary? We have 3 buttons here. Are they all necessary? Don't approve and review in SC do the same thing, essentially. And if they don't, shouldn't they? Yeah, Peter Steinberg is a very smart guy. I've been listening to a lot of his podcasts recently. Can extract a lot, and he's such a fun, bubbly guy too. He's got a good personality, I rate him. I think we can improve on this a little bit. Now the only thing is, if I improve this, is it going to break something? Because right now I'm feeling like this UI is pretty ass. Like, very confusing, you know? I think we need to improve the app factory dashboard. It says running in the top right corner, but it isn't really running since the app has not, since it is on hold while we approve this app. No? Also, we've got random buttons highlighted and not highlighted. AI ideate is highlighted, but it's not in use. Start factory is glowing, but why is that glowing if it says it's running? So I'm confused. Poor UX and UI right now. Let me actually take a screenshot of this. And I'm going to now go into conductor codex, and I'm going to explain, and then conductor, and then codex can give me like a good prompt to provide to Claude Code. I think that's the best way to do this right now. Is Codex 5.3 Spark any good, guys? What's the difference? I actually haven't looked into that yet. This is the recent prompt that I sent to my Claude Code in a separate environment. We are working on an autonomous app factory that is basically going to plug into Openclaw, and Openclaw is essentially going to be an orchestrator of these multiple components that essentially go from coming up with an app idea all the way to developing the app and then essentially publishing the app in the Apple App Store. Now, we have some issues with the UI and the dashboard, as it is very confusing and doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. So could you provide some guidance and some guidelines for my Claude Code to follow? Create the prompt in a .md for me to copy paste. And be very clear and concise without disrupting the overall feeling and build of the UI. It's probably a mini version. Spark is just faster because it uses Cerebrus, but it's a little worse than the normal Codex. Yeah, okay. And what about the Codex high, like extremely high, medium thinking? Someone was telling me the other day that the ultra high one doesn't actually work that well. Is that true? I'm going to prepare a copy-paste prompt for Claude focused on fixing dashboard state clarity and visual consistency. First, I'll run the required branch rename, then review your attached screenshot so the guidance matches what you're seeing. It's done. I'll inspect the attached image now and then draft a concise markdown prompt. And I can see the state conflicts running badge versus glow. I've loaded the skill. You know what I've just realized? Cancel. Can we also change the UI so it follows the Apple app toolkit and it's just using like, you know, white background with maybe glass morphism and stuff like that? Because it makes sense. I would recommend to use skills, night and day difference. I tried skills, man. The UI UX max skill, and it was all right, but it didn't really, I don't know. I feel like it didn't improve it drastically. What software are you using for speech to text? I'm using Whisper Flow right now. It's like $10 a month. Where's the prompt? Ah, here. Can you, where's the prompt? It's not letting me click. Is it in the... Cannot find the prompt. Not working. Let's go. Finally got payments working on my app. Yo, let's go. That's huge. Dude, that's a massive milestone. The next big milestone is getting the first payment. That very first payment, man. Oh, bro, it's such a good feeling. The first paying customer, bro. It's like honestly the best feeling in the world. I'm not gonna lie. It beats the 50th paying customer or the 100th or the 1000th paying customer. That very first one hits different, bro. I'm telling you. Ah, here it is. All right, cool. For Claude Code, Openclaw Factory Dashboard, UI UX fix. You're improving the existing Openclaw App Factory dashboard. Goal, make the dashboard unambiguous and trustworthy by fixing state logic, button emphasis, and visual hierarchy. Also, restyle the UI to feel Apple native, like background, subtle glass morphism, clean typography, restrained color accents. Do not change the core information architecture or workflow order. Okay, let's give this a crack. Now this is either going to break or make everything. I should probably read it, hey. Imagine it just completely fucks my build. Make the dashboard, okay, we got that. Top right status says running while UI implies it is waiting for approval. Primary CTA, start factory appears active glowing even when system is already running. AI ideate appears highlighted. Use a single source of truth for system state and derive all badges buttons from it. A control can only be one of active, available, disabled, danger. Only one primary action can be emphasized at a time. Never show contradictory states. If approvals are pending, show on hold or awaiting approval, not running. Define factory states and map UI consistency. Always visible and always danger styled, never primary. Visual direction, button priority and styling rules. Visual direction, keep structure and pace spacing patterns, but move to a light Apple-like UI. Accessibility and motion, minimum contrast, implementation tasks, refactor dashboard control state into one typed state model, remap badge text, remove contradictory highlights and glows, User can identify current system state in under 2 seconds. No visual contradiction between status badge and available actions. Exactly one primary CTA visible at any time. Dashboard keeps its current structure but looks Apple-like clean. No random highlighted control. No implement these changes in code with minimal disruption to existing architecture. All right, that is not a bad prompt. Not gonna lie. Yeah, I got to get rid of that timed Nightbot message because we ain't giving out OG no more. Keep forgetting. Yo, is there a faster way to delete my text, by the way, on terminal? Is there like a shortcut I can use? Because I just pressed the backspace. I feel like that's like very rookie noob, some noob shit. Dev's probably cringing right now. This will be good because it makes sense. If we're building apps for iOS, our dashboard needs to feel the same. Command backspace, Control A. It's a terminal J. Command backspace. All right, I'm gonna try that. Command backspace. I have 20 plus mobile apps, but I don't know how can I get traffic. Really, 20? All on the iOS App Store? What's your best, like what's your most popular app? Let me brainstorm this with you right now. Bowl 7. What's your most popular app? Let's think about how we can bring traffic to it right now. Command backspace deletes line by line. Okay, good to know. YouTube, yeah, YouTube works. I'd actually probably go more into the short form because it's more impulse. And people watch short form on their mobile devices. People are more likely to watch YouTube on their computer. So short form kind of fits apps better, I would say. Swap out maybe later for an X. Okay. Good feedback. Man, I really like the subtle like animations that it's done here, you know? Makes it feel very smooth. Even like the green on the right, like it's very clean, like everything's... I really like this slide. Did a good job here. I think what I'd like to bring into it is like gradients. So if there's like a slight like gradient up here, but it's like completely white, we should probably look at like Pinterest. Like maybe like white backgrounds. I'm a fan of the white backgrounds, man. This beat reminded me of PH. What the hell's PH? Oh. Hey, you don't need to spell it out. Don't worry, I got you. That's crazy. That's a crazy shout, by the way. Damn, ran out of credits. Guess that's it until Wednesday when I get paid. Decan, what are you using? Is it just Claude Code, or you know, if you really want, you could use like Kimmy's got a free trial. Gemini, obviously you can do like a little bit for free. See, I like this sort of UI. Not this, but the background. See, oh, it's pastel. Pastel is what I'm looking for. Pastel. Yeah, like this, man. See, this is the sort of backgrounds I really like. Dude, that is cool. That's AI generated, but it looks cool. I really like this like soft glow kind of background. I feel like that, see this looks so clean. Look at that. I feel like it feels very welcoming, you know? This is kind of what I want to aim for with the apps. Alright, are we good here? Done. Completed UI redesign. Alright, let's have a look if this works. Giving it a refresh. Fingers crossed. Alright. Okay. It's not bad. Let me move my camera. Probably makes more sense to put it over here. What do we got? What are we thinking, guys? Review approvals. Emergency stop, tests, ideate settings. I mean, it's definitely an improvement. Can we use Apple's UI toolkit to further the Apple native vibe of the UI? I feel like it still doesn't feel fully Apple vibes yet. I'm just thinking, is this the most optimal way to display this information? Let me ask. Do you think this is the most optimal way to display this information? And I want you to just brainstorm with me. Like, don't go out and give me another prompt or anything. Like, let's just discuss between each other. And I'm also going to send this to Gemini 3.1, which... do I need to, like, upgrade or something? Like, why can't I get Gemini... oh, there it is. It says Ask Gemini 3. Advanced Math and Code with 3.1 Pro. It's saying Gemini. Get more. So I gotta go to the actual AI studio, I'm pretty sure. For some reason. I'm going to use the same prompt. For context, we're building an autonomous app factory where our Openclaw agent just plugs into this system and is able to build apps autonomously while we sleep. Well, I've noticed if you actually go into the playground on AI Studio, you can use 3.1. and it takes it out of your like membership. Always use Gemini from the AI Studio. It's much better there as its set is to a higher reasoning level. Really? I didn't know that. So it's almost like the actual Gemini chat that they have is just for like the kind of, I guess, the casual AI users, not really the coders. All the emojis on the button make it feel generated. Yeah, I agree. This is a fascinating concept. Building an autonomous... we can probably get rid of ChatGPT here. This is a fascinating concept. I'm not covering anything. This is a fascinating concept. Building an autonomous app factory that runs while you sleep shifts the... Okay, a bit of fluff there. When you are doing the work, the dashboard is effectively a management console for an employee, the AI that works 10x faster than you. Given that context, let's brainstorm a few areas where the UI could potentially be optimized to fit that specific mental model. The human bottleneck versus the AI engine. If the system runs while you sleep, the dashboard's primary job when you wake up is to tell you exactly where you are the bottleneck. True? The disconnect. The top right says awaiting approval and you have a blue review approvals button. However, the metrics say 0 attention. That feels slightly contradictory. It is awaiting my approval. Doesn't that require my attention? What is it saying? 0 attention. Is it thinking this says attention? Oh, here, 0 attention here. I didn't see that. What does that even mean? That feels slightly contradictory. If it's approving, waiting on my, doesn't that require my attention? Brainstorm. What if the dashboard was split into 2 distinct visual zones? What I need from you, human tasks like approvals, billing, API limits, and what I'm doing right now, the AI's autonomous playground right now. Human actions, review approvals, and system status, emergency stop are grouped in the same control panel. The progress bar and legend confusion. Let's look at the active projects section. Specifically the progress bar for Warranty Vault. The disconnect. There is a cognitive load issue here. The legend has 8 distinct colors: purple for ideate, blue for build, orange for review, etc. The actual progress bar only uses green for completed and blue for current. My brain has to read the text in the legend count, the segments in the bar, and map them. That's a good take, actually. I didn't even consider that. This is a cool find. If this is a factory, maybe we visualize it like a real assembly line. Instead of a linear segment bar, what if it was a Kanban style mini flow, or simply color code the active segment in the bar? Look at Warranty Vault. It is currently the only active project, but it also is sitting at the #1 spot in the idea queue. The disconnect. Once an agent picks up an idea, it should vanish from the idea queue. Completely agree. If Openclaw is building while you sleep, what happens when you open this at 8 AM? Currently you state, but you don't see history. You don't know if the agent struggled. I mean, you do kind of see this. For additional context, this is what you see when you scroll down a little bit. I agree with all your takes. Can you please create a prompt in .md for me to copy into my AI agent? Also worth noting, we're aiming for an Apple feel for the UI design. So we're using Apple's toolkit to further emphasize this Apple native vibe. Let's give this a refresh. This is looking cleaner. For additional context, this is what you see when you scroll. Okay, here is a comprehensive prompt you can feed directly into your AI coding agent like Cursor. I've structured it to act as a senior UI UX engineer familiar with Apple's human interface guidelines, synthesizing everything we discussed plus the new context from the bottom half of the page. I also want to reiterate, like, I'm I'm kind of scared that if we provide this prompt, it's going to fix some things and it might additionally break other sections of the autonomous app factory. So can we also add some guidelines in making sure that the architecture stays the same? This is a cool beat. This is a completely valid fear and honestly one of the biggest pain points. Alright, let's give this in. I mean, ideally, we build something here that other people would want to use, right? So I want to make sure the UI looks clean. I don't want it to feel like a Vibecoded project. And we'll work on the UI further, but I just want something that's kind of usable for the time being. This is already a huge improvement, right? Like this looks way cleaner than what we had earlier. Not a huge fan of the purple background, but what I have to do. I understand the architectural constraints and UX issues. Let me redesign the dashboard to be a proper AI supervisor console while keeping all data structures intact. I'll now completely redesign the UI following your architectural constraints. I'll create a proper AI supervisor console. Yo, one more question, guys. If I am using the same chat interface, like, cause I'm using the one terminal, right? Should I be like running a command to like remove the context? Cause this is actually my first time using Claude Code through the terminal. And you know how in Conductor, I'm able to just kind of create a new chat like this and it completely clears like the context bloat. So should I be doing that through the terminal? And if I should be doing that through the terminal, how do I do that? Is there like a specific command or something? I've started YouTube Shorts videos today. Let's go, old kick. You gonna share or you too embarrassed? I'm now completely redesigning the UI. So it just takes me to this. I'm going to enter your competition, lol. Let's go. I'll probably set it up sometime this week. I feel like when you close the terminal, everything is removed, or am I not using it right? Yeah, but if I close the terminal, I feel like it's gonna forget everything that we're building. You know what I mean? I'll be right back. I'm gonna grab a drink of water. I'm not gonna close it, don't worry. Wasn't planning on it. All right. All right, we've made some major changes. Let's have a look. All right, let's give this a refresh. Warranty vault ready to submit. Cool. It makes sense that AI ideate is in idea queue. It makes sense that the AI ideate button is next to the plus add idea button in idea queue. Review now. It says review, but then when I press the review button, there's nothing in active projects for me to press. Submit to App Store. So if I press this, and then it's gonna ask me, did you submit Warranty Vault in App Store Connect? Interesting. Okay. No, I did not. Show me a screenshot. Okay. I noticed the review button brings me down to active projects, but right now there is nothing there. So how do I review? Bit of a random one. When you start a new project, if you had an infinite whiteboard, where are the first things you'd map out? I mean, if we go into Miro, which is what I'm using, right? We can see some early, let me log in, I'll show you. I mean, if this kind of says anything to you, it's kind of like this sort of vibe where I'm kind of ranking ideas based on effort, impact, X factor, giving them a score and then writing notes. So I guess a table is important. The other thing is, like, I kind of do switch between Canva as well. And, you know, this could obviously be done inside of the whiteboard, but you can kind of see here how I'm kind of putting together my thoughts in each of these app ideas. And you can see I'm like drawing lines, I'm like kind of writing down my like reviews and, you know, my thesis behind some of these ideas. Not sure if that helps you, bro, but that's kind of how my app ideation goes. Done. When you click review now, directly triggers the action, opens App Store Connect for Warranty Vault, multiple items, scrolls to the banner and pulses it to draw attention. In your case, with just Warranty Vault, clicking review now will directly open App Store Connect. Not sure why it's taken ages to load. When clicking the review button, it takes me to Apple Connect, but I get stuck on a loading screen that never ends. All right, let's see if this works. The page you're looking for can't be found. I think it should just take me to login screen. As might need to log in first. Is there a max for posting shorts without getting punished by the algorithm? No, I don't think so. I posted like 5 times in one day before and it was fine. You have to commit it to memory in the dedicated project folder. When you open a new Claude Code window in your terminal, tell it you want to resume the project in the given directory. On your desktop, you can click and drag the folder into the CLI and the route will automatically populate. That's, so where would ours be? I think it's this. Yes, this would be it. So inside Sheldon so this is our directory. I want to resume this project and drag and drop the folder from your desktop into the terminal window. When you're done with the project, you can tell it to save the conversation. How often do you recommend like switching out the terminal, Funman? All right, let me log in real quick. Okay. So we're in here now. Open ASC. All right. Looks good. All right, let's move on to the next app. So with App Store Connect, right? We've got these screenshots, which I don't want. In the warranty vault, we have screenshots, which we don't want. Please remove all from the meta data. The music stopped playing? You can ask the health of the context window. Recommend to keep a low context window. Recently, OP 4.6 and Sonnet 4.6 have a context window of 1 million tokens. Healthy context windows about 25% before you start a complex task, around 80% floss. I asked to save the conversation and then clear the terminal. If you do a task, like asking it to build or establish an MCP gateway for connecting to GitHub, you can ask it to save a skill of what you did or make a new skill using what you've worked on. It will save it as a shortcut to repeat that process faster in the future. This will allow to do it semi-autonomously and remember all the permissions that you gave. Cool. So you're saying that I should save a skill of what you did or make a new skill using what you've done, just worked on. Save it as a shortcut to repeat the process faster in the future. I mean, we're probably going to need to create a skill for it to even, I guess, do this, so that makes sense. So right now do you recommend me to close this right now then? Isn't there like a command you can use? Like it's like refresh terminal or something? When you're done with the project, you can have it, tell it to save the conversation. You ask the health of the context window, recommend to keep a low context window. I want to resume this project. Okay, I'm gonna actually reset it right now. Please save this conversation. I mean, you can kind of see the context window right here, right? It says 7%. Make sure you use plan mode and ask it to spawn parallel agents and use agents team manager. I mean, we started off on plan mode to build this, yeah. Alright, we've saved it. Now I'm gonna close the terminal. What's the one where it's like, what's the command where you can just let it auto approve everything? It's like dangerously or something. You can use the command /clear inside Claude code to clear the context window. Ah, I see. You should install anti-gravity and use Claude code in the terminal in anti-gravity. Why is that? I didn't really like anti-gravity. I use Claude code inside of Conductor usually, which helps a lot, but because we're inside of a different environment, I just use the terminal because we haven't downloaded anything yet. This is inside of my Mac Mini that my Openclaw uses. Can we initiate dangerous mode? There's no dangerous mode in Claude code. What are you trying to accomplish? You need to run something that's been blocked by the sandbox. I can help. I want to run the dangerously skip perms command. I just got a Mac Mini for Openclaw 2 days ago. It's wild what it can do. Dude, it's insane, hey. It's actually insane. It blows my mind. You just need to be very specific about what you want out of it. I can run individual commands outside the sandbox when needed. I need to know what you're actually trying to do first. What task or command is getting blocked? Tell me what you want to accomplish and I'll help you get it done. Let me just search it up. Dangerously skip perms Claude code command. That's a flag you'd use when starting Claude code, not something like, oh, whoops. Get rid of you. I did it again. You told me to use shift clear, no? I need to get used to that. I feel like I use Claude code like a boomer sometimes, I swear. You should speed things up though if I'm multitasking. To resume where we left off last on Sheldon. Yo, how do I change models? Because it says I'm using Opus 4.5 right now. Change model to Opus in CLI. In the prompt type /model and /model. Set the AI model for Claude. Why is it? Only showing 4.5. Do I need to update? Claude Code command update. Use the built-in command Claude update. npm update. To the latest version. Okay, so now if we go /model, still showing Opus 4.5, so maybe I gotta... Third time's a charm, guys. I feel like I go around in circles so much on the stream, it's crazy. What was that? Still using 4.5. Why isn't it showing? With dash. Claude model dash model Opus 4.6. Why can't I see Opus 4.6 in model options? Dude, what the hell is this? How outdated are you? Are you on the latest update? Opus 4.6 is out. My knowledge cutoff is May 2025. So if Opus 4.6 is released after that, I wouldn't know about it. I can only tell you where you find it depends on how you're accessing Claude. The hell? Dude, what's going on? We got Opus 4.6 here. Let me just copy paste this in here. Why can't this CLI use Opus 4.6? How do you manage your projects with your Claude bot? It's through sub-agents. So we have each kind of project lead operating for each specific project, and Openclaw is used as a conductor or an orchestrator to manage each specific project, meaning it doesn't have context bloat on, diving deep in a specific area. I'm on the max. But what is your UI? What is your UI for managing projects and agents? I mean, this is what we're building right now. The autonomous app factory. My main focus is this right now. That's why one of the things that we want to do today is actually resetting and plugging Sheldon into the factory, because I just want to get him to just focus on autonomous app development. Saying Claude update. All right, now we're on the latest version. All right, cool. I think it worked. That was weird. I thought it automatically updated for you. It did for my MacBook Pro. Want to resume where we left off with the app factory. As in like talking to it. I mean, I was using Telegram, and then in Telegram you can have like multiple groups, so you can have like subgroups. but I heard Discord's pretty good as well. But I'm probably going to be running this through this interface, and then I'll also connect it to probably Telegram, since I use it the most. And it's just a cleaner interface in terms of talking, feels a bit more casual. What are you using? Speech to text software? I have it. I have speech to text software. Again, it's just not installed in this specific environment because this is the Openclaw environment. So I haven't really set it up like I have my MacBook Pro. You're seeing two screens right now. This one right here is my Mac Mini Openclaw. This one right here is my MacBook Pros, which has like my usual setup, but obviously it's not configured properly inside Openclaw's environment. Start building GymSnap. Alright, this will give us an idea of if the end-to-end works right now. Let's see. We need to see this updating autonomously. Building your own UI. Yeah, I did that as well. We built like a task manager. It's helpful. Like a Kanban style task manager. I'd be careful of like making Openclaw build stuff for you because it adds to its context bloat quite quickly, and you'll find that you want to be very careful with what you let it do. I'm doing the exact same thing using screen sharing on my Mac Mini. I know the exact pain of now having a mic on the Mac Mini. Dude, I know. That's so funny. Okay, yo, we got null hashtag set in ideate phase. Okay, I don't like how it looks like that. GymSnap. GymSnap looked like this first before updating to GymSnap. Bit weird. Okay, it's building. Marked as submitted. Warranty vote. I pressed marked as submitted, and the attention required notification didn't go away. With proper model escalation protocol, it's cheap as fuck, bro. Literally the cheapest model I've ever coded with, and the most efficient and highest quality output at the same time, if configured. What are you talking about? If you sent a link, it probably got removed. So which model were you talking about? I think we need a toggle in idea queue where we can see built, submitted, submitted apps versus not versus apps that have only been ideated. Give this a refresh. Yeah, it's still showing there. So definitely got some notes now after building that. Begin gym snap ideate phase. Interesting. AI activity feed not working properly. Not providing updates. What up, Bootmaker? How we doing? We're currently cooking up a autonomous app factory for our Openclaw agent to plug in. I use Ollama models locally to run heartbeat checks, etc. Haiku to handle everyday talking and model routing, and the escalation protocol routes to Sonnet and Opus for more complex tasks. Okay, so we got a pretty similar setup. I don't really use Haiku that much. Ollama for heartbeats is what I was using as well. Sonnet 4.6 and Opus 4.6, and I also have Codex as well. Gemini 3.1 is also worth including. It's cheaper and pretty solid. It's a bit cheaper than Sonnet right now. Although Sonnet's really good at using like copywriting, I've noticed. To follow along, all I see is building for 10 minutes on the dashboard, and it's hard to actually see what's going on in the back end. It would be cool if you could, if there was a little explainer above the building text that dynamically switched to whatever the bot was working on. Basically summarizing whatever it's doing in 1 to 4 words with a loading sign of sorts. This lets us know things. This summarizer should be super specific and constantly be updating to exactly what the bot is working on. This could occur every second or every 10 seconds. It needs to be exactly up to date. Factory resumes. GymSnap is building. Completed so far. Ideate phase done. App name, features, target user, pitch, design, directions all set. Build phase. App compiles successfully on first attempt. 10 Swift source files created. Monetization configured. Store kit config set up with GymSnap products. IDs. Interesting that it used a different pricing model here. YouTube tutorial music. I know, yeah, I'm not liking this. I'm gonna switch. That's so funny. There we go. If you were ever curious, that is called Spring in My Step, the YouTube tutorial one. I highly recommend using Gemini instead of ChatGPT. It's so much better. Yeah, bro, I agree. I mean, we've been using Gemini right here. I don't even think we've touched. We did actually for Codex. But yeah, no, I agree. Gemini's locked in right now. Appreciate the advice, bro. I see all the issues. Let me fix them systemically. Add real-time AI status summarizer to dashboard. Fix activity feed to show real server logs. Okay. These should help. It's a classic. Yeah, Google models for image generation and UI design work really well. You'll be right back. I'm gonna grab a snack. Dude, what the hell? Is this a Christmas? Came back to that shit. Alright. All 5 dashboards are fixed now. Refresh. AI activity clear. It says we have 1 app shipped, but when I go to look at the shipped apps in idea queue, nothing shows. Also, would be good if the AI activity feed could be dragged to expand and minimize. Afterwards, please continue building. Jim Snap. got this shipped. UI is working well right now. This is what we wanted. Yeah, I put the mic down so you guys don't hear me chewing my food. Yo, quick update. Just quickly, because I feel like no one really shares this stuff. You know, obviously on YouTube, you can see the videos have generated some good viewership. You got 4.4k views, 29k views, 9.8k views, 21k views here. So this is kind of my earnings for that right here. Now this isn't going to go towards the challenge because it's vibe coding until I make a 100k challenge, not make content until I make a 100k challenge. So I'm not going to put this towards the overall, I guess, what's been made. But yeah, this is kind of just to show you guys, like, this is how much I made. Now it's worth noting that when I posted this video, which is my best video, you can see you got 29,000 views, and this one got 10,000 views. Both these videos were actually posted before I got monetized. So I didn't make as much. Like if we click on this one, you'll see it's only at $48 because it only started getting monetized here. And at this point, it already generated like 20,000 views or something. So yeah, it's also 2 days delayed. So like you don't fully see how much it's made. But this recent video I posted like after I got monetized, and you can kind of see like it's made $120. Now I'm a bit confused, okay? Because you can kind of see that YouTube is saying that my viewership is valued at $25. You needed 4,000 watch hours to be monetized. But what's interesting here is YouTube is valuing my viewership higher than normal, and it's valuing it at $25 USD. Okay? But what's interesting is when it actually calculates, it's different. Like, let's look at this. It says $120 has been generated from 7,544 views. And I'm like, that doesn't fully make sense because it's generated 22,000 views. So I'm a little confused in this area. Also, go hype this video up if you haven't already. It's gonna like make more people see it. But yeah, I thought this was interesting to share just because I feel like people don't really share it enough. So if you're interested in making content, CPM is what advertisers pay, that then YouTube takes their cut, then you get the RPM. I'm pretty sure, this is you know. Let me ask. I'll take a screenshot of this. Let's actually go ahead and ask Gemini. So I'm a bit confused with this because you can see that my CPM is pretty high, right? But when you actually look at like on the right hand side, the calculated amount is only like $5. So can you help me understand why that is? Also, does YouTube take a 50% cut of the CPM, or is the CPM already factoring in YouTube's cut? Should probably provide some more screenshots. I'm just doing this because the app's still working over here. So might as well multitask, right? Put the volume down a bit. Because it's interesting, like, this is the first time I've ever, I guess, monetized a YouTube channel, you know? So I don't really know these things. Let's see what it says. So you guys think it's because of YouTube's cut? This is one of the most common points of confusion for YouTube creators when looking at the analytics. Let's break down exactly what those two numbers mean, why there is such a big gap, and answer your question about YouTube's cut. To answer your specific question first, no, the CPM does not factor in YouTube's cut. The can, you're right. This is how the math works and why your CPM turns into $5. So the YouTube cut is $55.45. This is the gross amount that YouTubers are paying YouTube for 1,000 ad impressions on your video. In your case, advertisers pay you $25 every time 1,000 ads are shown on your video. YouTube takes 45% cut. So right off the bat, before anything else happens, your actual share of 25 is $13.75. This is the absolute maximum you could earn per 1,000 views if every single video showed an ad. Monetized views versus total views, the missing link. This is where the drop from 30.75 down to happens. There's a calculation of how much you actually made per views, regardless of whether an ad was shown or not. The reality is that not every view gets an ad. In fact, usually less than half of your views actually display an ad. Here's why an ad might not play. Ad blockers, okay. YouTube Premium. These viewers don't see ads. You get paid a different, usually smaller way for their watch time, which is factored into your total revenue, but acts differently than traditional ad CPM, no ad inventory. Sometimes YouTube simply doesn't have an appropriate ad to serve. Viewer behavior, okay? So that makes more sense actually. Because the actual earnings are less than half to your theoretical minimum. It tells us that roughly 1 in 3 or maybe 40% of your total views are actually resulting in a paid ad impression. 40%, okay. Your numbers are actually very healthy. Okay, that makes a lot more sense now. So basically, I mean, when you're watching YouTube, right, you're not getting ads all the time per video. That makes sense. Okay, fair enough. Good to know. Okay, GymSnap review. Yo, GymSnap is ready for review. Phase completed. It scored a 9.3 out of 10. Okay. Warranty only got like an 8. GymSnap is now in deploy stage phase, ready for deployment preparation, icon generation, metadata archiving. All right, let's test. GymSnap, welcome to GymSnap. Track your fitness transformation with progress photos. See how far you've come. Side-by-side comparison, compare photos from different dates to visualize your progress over time. Track measurements, log weight, chest weight, waist, and more alongside your photos for a complete picture. 100% private, all photos stay on your device, no cloud uploads. Take your first snap. Yo. Cool. You know what would be interesting is if it could automatically fill these in. So how does the freemium model work? Continue building GymSnap. Continue building GymSnap. Has monetization been integrated? Can't see it. This is pretty cool. does exactly what it says it does. It would be cool if we could integrate AI into these. But good to see that everything's working, right? Like, it's working in the emulator. I don't know if I love that icon. Let me just check it's connected to... Doesn't have a Gemini API. In keys.md, I have provided a Gemini API key. Can we incorporate this, as we will be able to generate better icons and images using VO3? When it comes to app logos, to app icons, etc., we need to think about this. In place, so we are creating to make sure we are generating relevant icons, etc. It's probably mentioned catchy, relevant catchy icons. Gated, adding 3 free, then paywall was already working. Now shows a lock icon for free users and triggers the paywall when tapped. In toolbar shows 3 free snaps left. Ooh, okay. So make sure monetizations processes are being updated on the loop, on the app factory loop, so we don't make those mistakes again. I mean, we are close to finishing this task now. Let me just add the Gemini API. So if I was to test this again, okay, monetization's right here. This one, bit spenny, I'm not gonna lie. We'd probably need to integrate AI in this. That makes sense, right? If you took a photo, AI could kind of gauge, like, okay, maybe this is how thick your biceps are. an update. All 3 tasks are done. Here's a summary. Okay. Continue with gym snap. Okay, it's working through the deploy checklist. Okay, so that's gonna be the icon, because obviously this icon's ugly as hell. So it's gonna fix that. But so far so good. It's looking pretty good, I'm not gonna lie. Pretty happy with how things are going. Just like nice UI elements. Should probably create like a list of these. Just made an Openclaw agent to copy exactly what you do, but I told it to do it better and make more money faster. Make no mistakes. Good luck, Johnny. If you're up for it, I'd love your quick feedback on my landing page for the project I have. Yo, send it through, Decan. Chuck it in Discord. Discord show off. I'll have a look. Just trying to scam Discord. Looking good. It's in the show off. Yo, that's a nice UI, man. Yo, Vince. Vince knows what's up, bro. That's a very, very clean UI. Good job, Vince. Is this you? I'm in freaking Decan. Alright, let's have a look. Let's have a look, Decan. Taking a while to load off the rip. If you have a lot of bells and whistles, you might want to maybe reduce. Like at this point, a lot of people would click off. 15 seconds, 20 seconds. Frame.kiwi. I'll give it another refresh. There we go. Maybe it was just me. Frame.kiwi, how it works, product pricing tools. Frame your product before you build it. The UI is very clean, I'm not gonna lie, man. I really like it. A visual planning space for indie builders with AI first makers. Map the idea, structure the chaos, ship with clarity. Learn how it works. Maybe like a video would be nice in this learn how it works section. Could be cool if this moved. Like maybe it's like an arrow just like dragging, and you could probably like do that yourself, you know, screen record it. Builders don't have a thinking space. You think in code, but ideas don't start as code. There's a gap between the spark and the sprint, and it's where most products die. I'd probably remove any M dashes, just because that's like kind of a bit of a telltale that the copy is AI generated. So here you can see is all M dash. Like obviously everyone generates their copy with AI, but there's a way to make it so that it looks less AI generated. You feel me? A spatial canvas where everything clicks. Frame is a spatial whiteboard where notes, flows, docs, tasks, code, links, and media live together, all inside a single focused project. Captures ideas fast, flows, your canvas has a brain. Frames building AI don't just chat, it acts. Create notes, update, build documents, and analyze your business model all through conversation. Honestly, I feel like this should be higher. Like this is the cool part of your whole thing, right? Because every single whiteboard has this, but not every single whiteboard has this. So I feel like this should be higher in your page. Food for thought. 3 steps, 0 overhead. Create a frame, name your project, drop your building blocks, build your clarity. Even here on the right hand side, if you just had like a quick intro, like even a video that's just showing like maybe some guy is just connecting blocks together or is typing in something or some sort of workflow, something simple. Because you know, this is cool, but visually things can be explained so much easier, and you could almost get rid of the text, right? Because if it says create a frame, drop your building blocks, build with clarity, like if it just said those 3 and then you had like a video on the right hand side that just showed like you know, those 3 being executed, I feel like you'd understand what's going on in like 3 seconds, you know what I mean? It would sell your product a lot better. Builders love it. This is cool. Start ya. Honestly, the UI is really clean. I'm not gonna lie. I really like the UI. Pricing. Kind of makes sense to also have your pricing in this landing page. Like have a pricing section here. It's funny because I heard I was watching Naval and his podcast recently, and he said he was talking to a friend, and his friend was like, your net worth is based off of how many call to action buttons you have on your website. And it's true, the more you have, the higher chance like users are gonna pay. So if you have your pricing here as well, like people are going to be able to see, you know what I mean? And it kind of doesn't really, I mean, nah, it's fine. Nah, it's clean. This looks good, bro. I like it. Tools for builders who think, I think maybe you could you combine these into this landing page? Does it need to be a separate page? And you know what would be cool? Obviously a lot of work, but if every single one of these had a quick little video that's like 3 seconds long, that loops, that shows what it does. Like MRR and growth simulator shows like it's simulating the growth. LTV calculator shows you calculating. Runway calculator shows that. Feature scope estimator shows that. Validation scorecard shows that. If it was able to, even just images, you know, it's like more visual stuff than just writing, I feel like goes a long way, you know. But all in all, it's cool. Definitely doesn't feel vibe coded like the UI. I think it looks really clean. Good job. It looks really cool. Good shit, Duckhan. I like the logo as well. Yo, that's a clean logo you got there. A little pixelated, can't even, trying to zoom in right now, but I can't. Little pixelated logo, looks clean. Nice, bro. Good shit. Keep it up. When you say go. Agent fix template placeholder completed. Already handled. I fixed the template in both projects before the agent finished. The template now has the team ID hard coded in both warranty. Have all placeholders resolved. Can't see the new icons in simulator. Would be nice to test for testing. Wondering maybe there needs to be like a refresh button. Ooh, that logo looks a bit bad. What are we using for image gen? Can we confirm it's VO 3.1? Recorded everything and added pricing. Nice. Good shit, bro. We're using Imagen 4.0 fast. Not VO. VO is Google's video generation model, not image generation. Let me check what's actually available with your API key. It's available with its video. It generates video clips, not static images. That said, I could upgrade the script to try for Ultra. Wait. VO 3.1 isn't just for video, right? Oh, it's Nano Banana Pro. What about Nano Banana Pro? That doesn't sound like a real model. There's no Nano in Google's lineup or anywhere I'm aware of. Where did you see that? Oh my god. What are you talking about, bruv? Google Nano Banana Pro API. .1 API. Docs. Send it through, JC, in the show off section. Let me just make sure I'm not sharing anything weird in here. Good find. Nano Banana is a code name for Gemini's native image generation. There are 2 models. We should be using Gemini 3 Pro image preview for icons since it's built for exactly this. But had a config bug, I already fixed the... Now I'll regenerate. Okay, cool. Sweet. Yo, send it through, JC. Yes. Also, is there a button? Is yes. Streamer boards. Ooh. Let's have a look. Loaded very quick. Give it a quick refresh. Yeah, nice. Yo, JC cooking. JC cooking, man. JC cooking. Turn your stream into a game. Create real-time. Yo, I've seen this. I've seen Ludwig do this. Create real-time bingo boards, challenge trackers, and interactive overlays that keep your audience engaged and your stream unforgettable. Dude, this is a good idea. Yo, JC cooking, bro. JC cooking, mate. 100% free in beta. Board types. 3 steps. 0 friction. Sign in with Twitch. Build your board. Even here as well, I'd probably do the thing where it's just a quick, like, you don't really need to like say sign in with Twitch. I think you could remove the text and add a quick video that's literally of a mouse clicking on the Twitch authorization button or something. Build your board can also, you can remove this and you can just show the video of the, you like, I don't know, editing the board or something. And then even this, you could do the same thing, you know? I feel like the visual video movement is way more captivating. And you can just save it as a GIF, so it's super easy to load on your website. Everything your stream needs. I think you could probably remove this text. Like, when you think of someone coming into your website, right? You're not thinking like, because obviously you've built this, so you're thinking, okay, he's gonna read this, and then he's gonna wanna read this, And then he's going to want to come down here and read this, and then he's going to read this, and then this, and then he's going to read this, and then he's going to read this. It's kind of more like not really like that. I feel like it's more, the more simpler, the better, because you also got to consider like, and I've kind of learned this in my YouTube videos, where you just need to be straight to the point, because you've only got this guy's attention for a few seconds. You know what I mean? So try and explain, like, even if like some of this text can be added here. Like maybe what if you removed this? Everything your stream needs, like that's a bit of a generic sentence. But if it says built specifically for Twitch streamers who want to create memorable moments, now you just have that in here. That's a way better line. You know what I mean? This is just such a like it's almost like a throwaway text. Like your website doesn't really need this here. You know what I mean? So you could just say this specifically, and I feel like that adds more value than that. Always in sync. OBS integration. I mean, yeah, these are all good. Challenge boards, bingo boards, instant setup. Is this monetizable for streamers? Streamer gauntlet. No keyboard run. Okay, this is cool. This is really cool. Chat picks my loadout. Challenge board, track progress live. That's cool. This is cool. So would this show on the thing? Serious streamers, perfect for getting started. One board per 24 hours. Real-time synchronization, custom board sizes. Again, here with the M dash, you'd want to remove for AI generation. Copywriting, it's kind of like obvious when the M dash is there. Fast, beautiful, and made for the way you actually stream. We got tired of clunky tools that killed the vibe, so we built something better. Built by streamers for streamers. Yeah, I mean, works. You could probably remove this. I like this though, built by streamers for streamers. It's nice. Stream first, design, instant updates, open and growing. Nice. Is that an M dash? Like, again? Trusted by, this is a really nice little thing that you've got here. I like it. I'm thinking like, you know what would really sell this for me, JC? Is if you like obviously got some of the streamers to use it, right? And you were able to show, and I'll show you here in my live stream right now. Here, you can see like all these different statistics, right? Chat rate, for example. So you know what would be really cool for you to show is if you actually had like a graph and it showed like the moment that the streamer started using your tool and how high the chat rate went. You could even do like viewer activity is another one. Like you can see up here, I've got my poo poo bum bum poll going on, and yeah, I can see like, okay, this is how much viewer activity is occurring. You know what I mean? If you can actually show growth stats for streamers, because you're trying to sell this to streamers, right? And what do streamers want? They want to see that their live streams are successful. So if you can actually showcase some of these stats and it's like, oh, the viewership actually went up by this much. You know, we've tested it with 10 streamers and we noticed that the viewership doubled, or we noticed that maybe there's a 10% increase. If you can show that sort of stat, that's a really high selling point. I'm not gonna lie. Because that's what you're trying to do, right? You're trying to sell it to the streamers. So what do streamers want at its core? At the very core, the streamer wants their stream to be successful. So can this tool provide success for the streamer? That's kind of how I'd be looking at it. So even like a success stories, right? Like right underneath this, if you had like a literal massive graph here, and you could like flick between maybe 3 of them, and it's like a carousel, and it's like, don't believe me, look at our happy customers. I don't know. That's a bit cliche, but you get what I mean. But it looks really cool. I think it's sick. I really like the logo as well, bro. Good job. I rate it. Keep it up. All right. Let's go back here. Gym snap. Let's look at this new icon because we just integrated Nano Banana. Yo, that's definitely cleaner. I did notice that it's got these outlines around it. Did notice it has these white outlines around it. Should make sure the image generated is background never has a border and is always never has a border. All good, bro. I really like the UI design though. Looks cool. Good shit. I can see the issue from the icon itself. The generated image has a visible border margin around the edges, so when iOS applies its rounded corner mask, you get that white outline showing through. The fix is in the prompt. I need to tell the model to fill the entire canvas edge to edge with no borders or margins. Corners baked in. The model keeps adding them despite the prompt. Let me also add a post-processing step that detects the fills corner gaps. That detects and fills corner gaps. That's more reliable than trusting the prompt alone. Interesting. All good, JC. Hope it helped. All right, let's see if this works. Ah, that's clean. That's way cleaner. Let me check on the live stream. What did the previous one even look like? Okay, the image generation looks a little different. But that's fine. It's good enough. I'm happy with it. Sweet. Sweet. Let's move on to the next step. Yo, also shout out Vince for creating the ferret answers bot in our Discord. Clearly helping out individuals. Tag ferret answers. You know what would actually be nice? I noticed that users have to tag ferret answers in that channel, and some people aren't going to know to tag it. So I'm wondering if you can just like let it go wild in that specific channel and see if like it can just answer people's questions inside the thread, kind of like how you've done, very clean and tidy. Yo, Vince working for free right now, by the way. I'm not paying him. So, yeah, just call it what you will, but Vince is doing this for free right now. Just saying. I should probably upgrade him to admin role. All right. Cool, so we're up here. Auto open the app for me, which I didn't get to see, but we just have to literally press this, distribute app, App Store Connect, distribute, App Store Connect, access for DVs required, ensure that your app will... What's going on here? Let me just have a quick look. Done. Boom. Next. Name. Jim Snap. And just like that, we have our second app. Now, obviously this was quite handheld as well, but every time we handhold it through this process, it's actually feeding and iterating for the app factory loop to learn. So if I'm like, oh, the monetization was a bit off here, it's going to remember that. And next time, hopefully not have those problems based off of its findings and its teachings and its learnings. So it's okay to handhold a little bit right now, I think. Waiting for App Store analysis response. Okay, this is gonna be, last time we did have some validation issues. And none of them this time around. Perfect, cool. Showing App Store done. So now we open App Store Connect. And it's right. Boom. One thing I did notice is it doesn't show the icon. One thing I noticed is it does not show the icon in Apple Connect. Not sure why. Because it should show the icon, right? If it's uploaded correctly. And again, the text is not filled for Jim Snap. Also, we noticed that the promotional text, nothing is showing here. Looks like none of the metadata got filled either. Xcode opened and I hit distribute app and it uploaded successfully. All these should be done in the first upload, no? Why wait until it's pushed? Metadata can be added in that very first upload, no? Why need 2 steps? Can we confirm that all the iterations made in last few texts are being applied to the app factory loop? But I'd say this is pretty much done. So we can cross this off. What are you trying to do? I'm looking at I guess some like a data pack of UI designs almost. Kind of just curious to see if there's anything out there. And I'm wondering, do we need to build that ourselves? Like if we just had like maybe 10 different templates that looked very professional that it could kind of build on top of. Whisk. Oh, is this Google's? This is new, right? Super new. Your image creation. Sign in and let's see what you can dig up. And then you can tell AI to get inspo from Dribble. Cool. Okay. This is making sense. Is Whisk for... kind of want to know what it even is. We want the Whisk experience to be safe, fun, and educational. Therefore, we prohibit users from knowingly generating certain categories of content. Whisk features precautions to protect minors. See the tool, how it works, and how to use it. We believe we shouldn't have to learn how to prompt to create images. It should be easy to try things out, iterate, refine, and remix ideas visually, like you do with a friend. So we're trying something new. Whisk is Labs Google FX's latest generative media experiment, focusing on fast visual ideation without the need to deeply understand prompting. Just throw in a couple of images of light guidance, and Whisk will try to capture their essence to suggest some images for you to keep ideating on. Interesting. Browse our gallery for inspiration. Behind the scenes, the Gemini model automatically writes a detailed caption of your image. Ah, I see. More videos. Okay, that's cool. I mean, if Whisk is just using Gemini, right? We just need to kind of get Gemini to a good level. Could use Dribble. Or we just kind of save a bunch of stuff we like. It made my open graph image from streamer boards. Oh, that's cool. Nice. Almost 3 a.m. here in Sweden, so heading to bed. Have a good rest of your stream. Catch you later. Peace out, Decan. Thanks for joining, man. Hope you have a good sleep. Can I look without? Yes. iOS, Apple apps. Nice. So if I click on this, dude, if we just save a few of these dribbles and we just created our own database, cool. Let's continue with, okay. So this should ideally have refreshed. We should have promotional text. Yep. See your fitness transformation with side-by-side progress photos, private, simple, and built for gym goers. Track your fitness transformation with side-by-side progress photos. GymSnap makes it easy to see how far you've come. Take progress photos, compare them side by side, and track your body measurements all privately on your device. Okay. Nice. All right. Well, where are we at? I think this is going to be quite a big challenge. I'm not going to lie. I know there's going to be a bunch of shit that we're going to need to fix when we connect Sheldon. So I'll probably leave it there, guys. I think we covered quite a bit today. We were able to mainly go end to end and just fix any kind of gaps that we found with the app factory. Now, tomorrow, what we're going to aim for is connecting Sheldon, which is our Openclaw agent, into the app factory and hopefully seeing everything work end to end. And then ideally, maybe we need to iterate a bit more and then hopefully submitting our first app. So pretty keen on doing that. But yeah, thanks for joining on the stream today, guys. JC, peace out. Silly Led, peace out. Decan, Helios, Johnny Grown 777. Thanks for joining, guys. I'll catch you in the next live stream tomorrow, same time. Peace.